Karibu sana.
Thank you. So I'm going to start with a short story. I will maybe first start by acknowledging our guests, Dr. Fred Matiangi, Professor Mwangi, Senator Manyora, and the rest of the Secretariat, all protocols observed. Good evening. The gentleman I'm going to talk about is also Fred, so I would like to mention that it is not the same Dr. Fred. So Fred is a Kenyan who came here a few years ago and worked in a home, not as a nanny, but took care of a house that was owned by a mzungu called Macmillan. He would report at 7 o'clock in the morning, and the goal was for him to clean house, take care of the house, and make sure that everything, food and all that, was done. The man, Mr. Macmillan, was a businessman. He was not married and needed someone to just watch the house. So what happened is our dear Fred would report very early in the morning, make breakfast for the boss, and then the boss would leave. So what happened is one day, about an hour after the gentleman had left for work, he came back and found Fred watching TV with feet up, very comfortable. And he asked him, Fred, what happened? Are you done? And you know how Kenyans are, we are very animated. He did. For those who know, it means you're done. An hour into his work, he was done. Kenyans are resilient. We are hardworking. What happened is this guy worked himself out of a job. He was fired. But what he did is he realized, oh, I can do this. He went, registered a company, and ended up cleaning many homes every day and making a whole lot of money. Fred's story is not different from any of us. Kenyans come here, we work hard, we work 2-3 jobs, and then we go to school. Some of us are raising families, we are going to school, and I am no different than all of you sitting here. We all experience the same. Only after 15 years of being here, working hard, and thinking I have enough experience to go and make an impact in our country, I left and went to do what I was very passionate about, which was public health and tech. I went, in the beginning, worked as a country director for CDC Foundation, and then eventually registered my own company. I'm saying this because a lot of us who come here as experienced technocrats, we end up going home and we want to make a difference. But sometimes it's not easy. I went, registered a company, mHealth Kenya, and during the time when I ran the company, I was able to bring enough money. As a principal investigator, we were able to bring a lot of grants. And by the time I was giving up, and I will explain, I was able to bring at least over $12 million in funding that went towards supporting HIV, AIDS, and also a little bit of COVID. What happens is that sometimes as a woman, it's tough. I stand here in high heels to make an impact, because at one point I felt that I needed to be 6 inches taller to be able to face my colleagues, to be able to fight, to be able to survive, and I did. I survived 12 years. During the period when we were implementing COVID, and for those of you who have lived in Kenya or traveled during the COVID time, you may have downloaded a QR code. Did anyone here travel beyond COVID and had to download a QR code at some point? If you did, that system was called Jitenge. Jitenge started off as a surveillance contact tracing system that was developed with only 2 cases of COVID. It was my innovation. I developed Jitenge, and after being a surveillance and contact tracing system, it extended to surveilling truck drivers, and it also ended up in the airline, managing airline. Prior to that, Thank you. Prior to that, I worked in the HIV space. Out of the 1.3 million people living with HIV that were being managed or receiving care and treatment, 900,000 of those were being managed using systems that we had developed, my company had developed. During COVID, when we started doing the work, the system, I was no longer just working with the Ministry of Health. I had to work with the Ministry of Transport, and I had to work with the Ministry of ICT. And questions started coming. Huyu anakula hii pesa na nani? Why are you eating alone? And it became difficult to the point where my life was not safe. People wanted to know where I lived, who I ate the money with. We do go home passionate to make improvements. We want a better country. We want to make impact. I did come back, but I want to go back home because that's where my heart is. And I know I do not speak alone. I know there are many who have gone and come back. In fact, when I heard you had come back, I said, if Matiangi can come back, who am I? You know. So I'm here to say that a lot of us are passionate and we love our country. We want to see change. I was in Kenya the other day. When Sabasaba was happening, I had gone home to bury my mother-in-law. The challenges that we have, where we were burying my mother, the road was not passable. I needed to pay a grader. I wanted to pay for a grader because the government had not done the work. I was told that getting a grader required me talking to the MCA and maybe calling the governor. Somebody had to eat something for me to pay for a grader to come and fix the road to go bury my mother. When Sabasaba was happening, I spoke to a few young kids, and what they said is, we've lost hope. People are saying we are suicidal. We are not suicidal. I have gone to school, I've done my bachelor's, I have done my master's, and I'm still home. I start a business, I go and the city council clears my business. So what do? I'm not suicidal, but maybe my mom will be better off without me. It will be one more plate she does not have to cook. So the reason I am here is because of the same. I know you guys are sitting here because you want a better Kenya. I went to Kenya because I wanted a better Kenya. I was at one point about to apply for a position at Kenyatta Hospital. They needed a CEO. I thought I was qualified. And somebody told me, do you have kids you're raising? Don't dare. It's not safe. We want a better Kenya. So anybody that's going to make our country better, we will be right there. I was in Kenya during your tenure, during the time that you were working. I know your work ethic. I know what you've done. I saw you. I was there during the Matiangi A. I was there when you were improving lands. We are victims of land grabbing. My mother is a widow and she has lost land. And I know you played a big role in making sure that a lot of people got their title deeds. So if your mission, if you can make Kenya the same as you did when you did all those other ministries, and if we can come together, all of us, with every little thing that we have learned, all the skills we have learned, if we were all to be given an opportunity to go and make that kind of impact, I know we will have a better Kenya. But do we have that environment? And who is going to create that environment? So my challenge to you is, how do you convince? What will you tell us that's going to be different? What are you going to do for us that is not been repeated before? What are you going to tell our youth who have masters, 2, 3, they keep going to school hoping that maybe the next degree is going to get them a job? You know, how are we going to feel that this is going to be different? You have a lot of work. You may have a lot of people supporting you, but I think I will want, like everybody else and all our Gen Zs who are here, we would want to know what's going to be different. And my challenge to you is also, you've worked in the government, you know how it worked. What lessons have you learned that you can impact this time so that it may be different? And you know that if you do it, we will be right behind you. I want a better Kenya. I know you want a better Kenya. We all want a better Kenya. How do we know the best way to follow you that is going to be different from what other politicians have told us? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Catherine. I think